Hello, everybody. Welcome back yet again on my channel. You are invincible. I hope you all are doing fantastic. And today we're going to have an amazing interview. She is just fantastic. The energy that she has, the aura that she has is just magnanimous. I would like to share a few things about her before I call her straight online. Her name is Chetna Chakravarthy. She has been a healing practitioner and life coach, practicing biotouch, chakra healing, positive action coaching, and oracle card reading. Her sense of reality and practical approach towards healing enables her clients to make changes and sustain healthy habits as they move towards living life to the fullest, in alignment with their desires and highest good. She has also written and printed a positive action journal, as well as developed a set of positivity planners and uses these as self help tools in her year long program run on WhatsApp called Life by Design. Chetna also organizes healing retreats in collaboration with Natasha and her company, Anamkara Yoga Retreats, all across India as well as internationally. Apart from the one on one sessions, Chetna has a weekly podcast called Positively Unlimited Podcast and hosts a series of webinars for healing and mind coaching. She's also been part of panel discussions and hosted talks at various venues and has created a community called Mind It, focused on creating positive shifts in the field of wellness and mental health with well known Bollywood actress Sarah Jane Dias. I would like to show her brand logo, which comes right at you. So, this is her brand, Chetna Chakravarthy, as colorful and magnanimous as she is herself. So, without further ado, I would like to invite our guest tonight, Chetna Chakravarthy.
Hello. Hi, Abhishek. How are
Hi,
you doing?
Chetna. I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
Very good.
I really like your earrings, by the way. Are they like feather earrings?
They're dream catchers.
Oh, oh, that's
Yeah.
amazing. I heard something about dream catchers. Whenever you wear it, you have good dreams. Is that so,
So
or
it's
it's
a
just one of the
so
fads?
dream catchers are a Native American handicraft of sorts. Grandmothers used to make them for the baby that was yet to be born, their grandchild who was yet to be born. And they'd
Okay.
hang it by the window so that when the baby was born, they would not get any bad dreams. So the dreams and thoughts would be filtered through these dream catchers. It was filled with the grandmother's blessings. So
Wow, that's
yeah,
nice.
so Native American folklore says that these particular handicrafts, because of the way they're woven, and they're woven with so much love and protection, they're almost like having an evil eye. You know, the Turkish evil eye that we
Yes,
see. Well,
the
this is
evil eye.
the Native
Yes,
American
very
version of
famous.
that. Yes.
Oh,
So
wonderful, wonderful.
yeah.
So, viewers, we have Chetna Chakravarti with us, and let me remind you, make sure that you have a pen and a diary or a paper because she's going to share with us an amazing life hack, which I'm really excited about. Well, I do know about it because I'm going to share it with you, but it's going to be fantastic. So please keep a paper and a pen with you. All right. So Chetna, are you ready
Yeah.
for the Q&A?
Absolutely. Bring it on.
All right. So first foremost, I want to really understand your entire journey, the transition from advertising to publishing and digital media to a wellness entrepreneur, starting your own endeavor, which is known as Circle of Positivity. How did this entire thing happen?
Um, so here's the thing. I've been the in case of emergency number for most friends since I was 13 or 14. I was that friend who always solved all the problems. So the boyfriend's
The
not
clear
calling,
friend.
the father's not allowing me out. I've had a fight with so and so. I was that friend. So I've been that is who I was since I don't know the age of 13 or 14. Even when I went into the workforce, into advertising, into digital media, into publishing. Um, For me, it was very normal to have a team. For me, it was very normal to do crisis management. For me, it was very normal to solve things and lead people and figure things out, kind of a thing. That's who I was. And that's what just kept coming through over and over through 15 years of being in the media,
Wow.
through that part of my career. So, sometime at about 7 or 8 years ago, I think 2012, 2013, I was the content head at Burp. I was setting up my own food business where I was going to be marketing a bunch of home chefs. I had a subscription basket that would go out to subscribers on the third weekend of every month. It was called the basket case, quite like me, the basket case. and
Right.
and I did this with two colleagues. I mean, all three of us were nuts. We said, let's just do this because at Burp we had met so many home chefs and so many beautiful products that were being made. And somewhere in between that, I had a friend of mine, a very close friend, and a teacher, someone I learned chakra healing and oracle card reading from then eventually,
Hmm.
Anahata Meher. Uh, she got into the healing space. And you know what
All
happens in
right.
the healing world is when a friend, when you get into it, you're looking for all your friends and saying, okay, who can I work with to build my experience, as well as whose life is not good enough, let me solve it. So
Right.
there's a lot of that happens. Okay, and this was 8 years ago. I was single. I'd been single for many years, for 7 8 years before that already. And everyone's biggest highlight in the group was, why is this one single? She goes out so much, she does so much, why is she still single? So that was like the pet project, literally. And I remember she sat there and had this conversation with me saying that you have to break certain patterns. You are single because your energy is not aligned. There's something that is not right. I'm telling you. And there was this whole discussion we had, and it's hilarious because we both laugh about it because I gave her a thrashing down. The poor thing
Wow.
had to
Okay.
really listen to me go cut at her, saying that it doesn't work in this way, and you can't tell me to light a candle and some love is going to come into my life. And because I'm extremely practical, I'm very rational, I'm very logical. Even today, as a life coach and an alternative healer, if you speak to any of my clients, the one thing that they'll tell you is that I turn everything into a real conversation, into a daily
Hmm.
activity.
Which is
I don't
fantastic.
like speaking. Like energy is great, and it's a good word, but what are you doing with that energy is more important to me.
Right.
So I tend to bring it that way. So anyway, we had this conversation. Then I went to her because we're friends. You go to a friend when they start something, you support them, you do what you have to do. So I
Right.
did a few sessions with her. I ended up quitting the job, setting up my food business. I learned how to do tarot from her. Eventually, I learned how to do chakra healing with her. I then was setting up workshops for different practitioners, including her. And I
Hmm.
remember I was setting up this workshop for a teacher called Ariana who teaches BioTouch. And
Okay.
I looked at her and I said, you mind if I sit in for the class? Because my dad could use this. And I sat in for it and
Right.
I learned the technique. And out of about 100 odd people that she has taught in India, I'm today the only practitioner that's practicing it officially and who is trained to train a trainer and get them certified.
Oh,
So
that's
I'm
awesome.
one of the only people here who took that
Like a
particular
pioneer,
technique for.
if you can say so,
Well,
in
I
India.
stuck to it. I'd like to say I stuck to it.
Right.
But yeah, and
Right.
so for me, it was kind of a thing that came to me. Healing, coaching, it was kind of a thing
Hmm.
that came to
Hmm.
me. I often say that the universe set me up for it. It didn't
Right.
give me this path very early in my life. It showed me this path when I was 33 years old, which is when people are mostly very settled in their career. And, they're
Hmm.
going into this kind of cruise zone. And there I was
Right.
jumping out of it
Right.
and saying, no, I'm making a whole switch. So
Right.
yeah, that's how I got into it about 7 years ago.
And you're loving it.
I love it. I love it.
Fantastic.
I
Good.
reached a point in 2014 where I had to choose between this and the basket case, and there was no competition. There was no
Hmm.
question to be asked. The joy of helping somebody change their life, helping somebody heal
Yes.
a pain, watch them go from howling to smiling and being
Hmm.
able to thrive in 3 months, 4 months. It's unparalleled.
Yeah, that's
There's no
phenomenal. I
gratification
mean,
beyond that.
the joy that one gets with that is
Yeah,
just beyond words. So I'd like to
absolutely.
ask you about you mentioned about biotouch healing. So how is it different than pranic healing and Reiki? As you
So
said, you're
when
also
you
like
usually
one of the persons doing it in India. So
So usually when
yeah,
you talk about alternative healing in India, you will hear the words Reiki, Ayurveda, and pranic healing up to some extent.
right,
However, right, and if you say touch healing, then Reiki. We that's the immediate word that comes out. Because
right.
that's been around in our country for too long. There are that many practitioners. It's one of the alternative healing practices that has spread so beautifully, right? And it's a powerful
Mm,
technique. It's a very powerful
right,
technique.
right.
Um, but with BioTouch, the very core difference is that in Reiki, the practitioner channels the energy. So the practitioner is a medium, right? You're channeling energy, you're giving it, you're taking energy out of the person. There's an exchange. In BioTouch, there is
Okay,
no exchange of energy. The person who is receiving it, it is their own internal body's energy that is doing what it needs to do. So it works
beautiful.
on a very basic principle that your body is built to heal itself. And I'll
Hmm.
give you a simple example. How many times have you experienced a fever, and instead of popping a pill, you've just put on a blanket and let yourself sweat it out, and the fevers come down?
I hate medicines. I don't take them
Right.
unless
So
and until
you
it's a emergency.
yeah. So now here's
So
the thing.
yeah, so
We
I know
we
what you're
tend
saying.
to yeah. So your body knows how to heal itself. I mean,
Yes,
fractures. Think about it. When a bone breaks, they put
yes,
a cast and they let you rest it, and then the bone fuses back again.
yes.
Right, so our body has the capacity to heal again. We have an organ like the liver which can regenerate.
Regenerate, exactly.
Right, so we have this body is brilliant. It is This system
Hmm.
is, it's mind boggling. So when somebody receives biotouch, or somebody experiences biotouch, it's very gentle touch at very specific points of someone's body. The points are very similar to acupressure and acupuncture, which again
Okay,
tells all of us that these are common points within our body that various healing techniques have identified.
okay, okay.
Right, and when you touch these certain points in a certain manner, you get your body's energy moving, and the body then starts to
Right.
focus on that particular area and heals the pain or starts helping with recovery. Now, the reason why I was drawn to BioTouch is because, unlike a lot of other alternative healing practices, or at least how the practitioners have put it out, this can be done with any other medical treatment. I do this for my dad for a cirrhosis. I did this for my mom
Right.
through her cancer treatment. I've done
Right.
this for people with MS on steroids. I've done this for people with anxiety and depression on medication. So you can be on any kind of medical treatment, or Ayurveda, or homeopathy, or be doing any other alternative treatment, and I can still give you BioTouch. I can still do it on you and get your body to feel better. So
So
for
it
me,
would be
that
like
was
one of
the most
those.
appealing.
Uh, yeah, sorry. I mean, like earlier you said about it being a alternative
Right.
medical healing. So
Yeah.
along with allopathy, along with Ayurveda, or whatever other means are, this would be like, as it is said, icing on the cake. So the cake is still there. So the main healing is
So
still happening, but this is an additional which would help, like a catalyst to
right.
make it
So
heal
it's
faster.
called, the BioTouch Foundation does not call it alternative. They say it is complementary healing technique, because it's so
Complementary. All right.
complementary to so many other techniques. And what
Right.
I've also noticed is, if you are on any other kind of treatment, whether it is medical or alternative,
Hmm.
what BioTouch does is that it helps speed up recovery. So your medicines are
Right.
absorbed better. Body responds to those same medicines faster.
Hmm.
So recovery
Hmm.
pace is also changed, because you're supporting your body.
Right. Wonderful. That brings to the next question that I have for you. Something related to what you had mentioned earlier. What is the importance of the seven chakras, and how does chakra healing take place?
So, okay, so chakras are, well, it's ancient knowledge. And when I say
Yes.
ancient, like really ancient knowledge,
Vedic.
okay, it's
Yeah.
written. I mean, there's information about it in all our ancient texts, and there's information of chakras in uh, ancient Egyptian texts. So you
Right.
can imagine how old and how far back this knowledge, this wisdom goes. Okay, to
Correct.
put it very
Correct.
simply and to explain in layman terms, chakras are nothing but energy centers. They're swirling energy centers. Okay, now our body has over hundreds of chakras, right from your
114, I
fingertips to
believe.
your toes. It's
Something
like
on that.
all
Yeah.
nerve centers are swirling energies. That's how many you have.
Right.
But
Right.
according to the text, according to the wisdom, there are seven main
Mm.
chakras which rest in your spine, right from the crown to your tailbone. Now, if I have to
Right.
explain how these work, it's pretty simple. Imagine the gears of a clock, the little circles that are all working together to make your clock tick. That's how
Correct.
your seven chakras are working. They're all intertwined, and one makes the other go, and the other makes the other go, and the energy flows and it flows.
Correct.
So that's how your
Correct.
energy moves. Now, if
Mm.
somebody has an imbalance in one of the chakras, the others will compensate. And if that imbalance is not rectified, all of them start to move in an imbalanced manner. Let me give
Right.
you an amusing way of imagining this. Go to a dance class, and you will have
Right.
this one person who is dancing on 1.2, 3, 4, 5, 5.6, 7, 8, 1. Right? There is
Yes.
no sense of rhythm. He's
Not
either
at
he
all.
or she is all over the place, or he or she is just struggling to catch the rhythm. They don't have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They cannot
Correct.
catch the rhythm. Imagine you're
Correct.
living life like that. If your chakras are imbalanced,
Mm.
you are living life like that. You're off beat,
Mm.
you're off rhythm, you're off tune. But when your
Right.
chakras are in balance, you are dancing to a beautiful rhythm. When you look at that dancer who is so graceful, who's catching every beat and who can catch every little piece of timing, knows exactly when
Mm.
to pause, knows exactly when to spin. That's how you live life if your chakras are aligned. Okay,
That's
so
beautiful.
it's that flow of energy within your body. And if you understand what each chakra stands for, you can start connecting it to what you are experiencing in a day, and you can identify where you are imbalanced. Let me also say
True.
this here. I don't believe, even though a lot of practitioners say this, I don't believe that a chakra can ever be completely blocked. If your chakra
Okay.
is blocked, you will eventually die, because all chakras will get blocked. There's no flow of energy. There's no flow. It's like stopping to
Mm.
breathe. So as long
Mm.
as
Mm.
you're breathing, your chakras are moving. They may be imbalanced, which means they can be too
Mm.
wide open or too tiny, too almost
Right.
closed, but they will never be entirely closed. If it
All
is
right.
entirely
All
closed,
right.
your physical body is going to develop various kinds of illnesses, and which is
Illnesses.
eventually leading to a terminal point. So it takes that much for your chakras to just get blocked, right? The most common
True.
thing that I've heard is practitioners telling somebody who is single, your heart chakra is blocked, that's why you can't find love. And I'm
That's
like,
funny. That's so funny.
yaha. So I think that's the
That's
most
so funny.
convenient way of saying, don't work on yourself, dude. Just go lie down and meditate, and something will become okay, right?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
it's to understand that the energy is constantly flowing. Law of physics: energy cannot be destroyed; it can only be transformed.
Correct. It's just a
Even when
transference of energy from one matter or the other.
Absolutely.
Same thing
Even when
remains.
we
Same thing.
die,
Yeah.
the energy within
Yeah.
us does not die. The soul moves on, it
Exactly.
transforms.
Exactly. Exactly.
So then, how can chakras be blocked?
Mm.
It
But
cannot.
right,
It
I
cannot.
mean, it can't be blocked. Maybe the iota of, that size would be like
Too small,
minimalistic,
too big.
and yeah, exactly. So one has to align them, and they are interconnected. They are aligned. So if one chakra is affected, automatically the one which is next to it, all seven in line, they're gonna get affected because they are in sync. And the gears, which you rightly said,
Absolutely.
it's so easy to understand and comprehend because if I interconnect like this, if this is having some issues, this automatically will have something or the other which will affect the next one. So it's going
Right.
to affect nearly all the seven chakras in different magnitudes. So that's
Absolutely.
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Wonderful. That brings us to the third question, which I read in your intro. What is positive action coaching? I really want to know that. And what are the benefits of it?
So positive
The
action
year
is
long thing which you take on
so that's a
WhatsApp, right?
different
That's
program in which I put in
acha.
everything. I'll explain that to you as well. However, positive action is a word that I coined
All
because
right.
I'm a life coach. Okay, I'm a life coach.
Yeah.
There are zillions of life coaches out there, just like therapists. Life coaches specialize in certain areas of your life.
Right.
And I realized with me, with the way I work and with the way I guide my clients, I'm very action oriented, right? So for
Mm,
me, it's very important for people to do things beyond just speaking. And hence, I coined the
mm,
term positive action because it means that when you are trying to change something in your life, you are taking positive action consistently. So you change something that
implementation
is
is so
not
important.
working for you by taking positive action. Even if that is taking the one
Wonderful.
right breath, it's a positive action, right?
Right.
So that's
Right.
what positive action is. It is a life coaching program where you can either we change mindsets, we change habits, we change narratives in our head. I'll never make money
Mm,
because everyone in my family has failed. Money can
mm,
only be made if you struggle. I'll never find love because everyone eventually always leaves me. So many, I'll
mm,
never succeed because I never run. I always leave things halfway. There are so many things that we tell each other that makes us block our path. So when you do positive action coaching with me, we start clearing out those narratives. We start changing those narratives. We start changing the way you are speaking to yourself, about yourself, the way you are communicating with life in general. We start changing all of that. And in doing so, you start achieving your goals. You start living a life
mm.
that you desire, a life that looks like what you would want to live. So that's what positive action coaching is. My year-long program, which is called Life by Design, that's pretty much every tool in my kitty. Chakra healing, positive action coaching, anything and everything
Biotouch.
that I know is in that 1 year. And in
Wow.
that 1 year, you go from having a clear vision about life to
Mm,
learning how to make that vision come true bit by bit. So you are equipped with certain mindsets and certain tools on a week on week basis: self love, money mindset, overcoming fear, dealing with your anger, communicating, healing
mm,
your relationships, every aspect of life. When the audience sits and does the exercise that I'm going to share with you, they'll realize what I mean by every aspect of life.
right.
It's
Right.
there in that it's a simple technique, and that's the very first exercise actually the people on my Life by Design program start with, because
All
you
right.
have to have a sense of direction. Think about it, Abhishek. When you're going on a road trip, you don't just pick your
Mm,
car and you get out. You
absolutely. You
know
need to check
which
everything.
direction you're heading, you know where
Yeah.
you are going, you know how long you're going to drive. You've packed for it accordingly because you know where you are headed.
True.
But
True.
so many of us are living this life without knowing where we are going. We just have some vague idea.
Mm, right. So, this program, the year-long program that you have, Life by Design, if
Right.
somebody is doing that for a year with you, so does that make the person equipped to actually become a bio touch healer or a life coach themselves or a chakra healer themselves?
So
Because in 1 year, there'll be so much of information bombarded on them, and they are seeing the practical effects of the changes, the transformation that they themselves are going through. So, would it equip them to become one of those in case they become intrigued and they want to,
so
go in that direction? It's just a question that came
it
to my
will
mind right now.
it will give them a taste of these things. It will allow them to experience what chakra healing feels like, and like you said, have a first hand experience of the effect of it.
Experience.
But
Right.
it's not designed to train anybody to be a healer or a practitioner. Yes, if they have
Mm,
curiosity, if they've done four of my life coaching exercises and said, now I want to be a coach, then they have to go and join an institute, do a certification, and work through there. But yes, it does give them an idea and an experience of what the experience of the power of healing and coaching, and the power of
mm.
just investing in yourself and making an effort for yourself.
That's so
That
important that you shared this because in the last 3 to 4 years, I've noticed it myself that it's a great thing, but unfortunately, people are not understanding that this is a science. Life coaching, mind coaching is a science, and it's about not only rewiring your own mindset, but you cannot just go out and do it to anybody and everyone because that might have detrimental effects on those people. So this question is, mainly I want to bring this up because viewers need to really understand that you need to have that sync in your mind, heart, and soul to be able to become a life coach and then take adequate education towards it, whether it's a degree or a diploma, whatever. It could be anything, just life coaching, nahi, but it could be biotouch healing, it could be your Reiki, it could be pranic healing, anything under the sun that you want to do, but do it from a professional institute, do it from somebody who is a pro and who knows what they're doing. Because as initially you also mentioned that there are zillions of life coaches today, but
right.
are they really doing it from that synchronicity that they want to make a difference in somebody's life? Or it's just because, I today this is a fad, let's get into it, let's get onto the bandwagon, earn some quick money and get a little famous and blah blah blah. So it's so crucial that that each one of us who's actually intrigued towards higher consciousness, elevation of your own soul, and the other realms that come along with it, that we actually first understand, like you said, that one needs to do those 4 sessions of life coaching with you in order to really understand, am I really a part of it? Am I really wanting to do this for life? Or it's just
Yeah,
that, okay, I want to improve my life. I'm good. I'm happy. Let's go on. So thank you for bringing this up. It's very
yeah.
important.
And I'll say this, I'll add this piece to what you're saying, Abhishek, is that look, at this point of time, we have a generation, and I'm talking about a younger generation who are now in their 20s, who have
Mm.
grown up in a far more comfortable setting than the previous generation. Okay, so they are double income families. Their parents have been able to give them everything, and they have the ability to do what they are good at without worrying about
Most of,
paying.
I would say most of them, not all of them.
Right. Yeah. So
Yeah.
paying bills, they don't have to worry about paying bills as yet. They can take
Yes.
longer to build their careers than I did, you did, or maybe even their parents did, right?
Correct. Very true.
And that's their fortune. Brilliant. That's their luxury. They should leverage on it
Yes.
200%.
Yes.
If you are born in a family that can afford to pay the bills so that you can work hard and become a singer because that's your dream, go for it,
Go
because the
for it.
universe has gifted you that luxury so that you
Yes.
can leverage on it. That's why it's
Right.
given to you. Make use of it. Don't do disservice to it by getting caught into the rat race and saying, no, let me just be a corporate person,
Mm,
right? If that's not where your
makes
heart is.
sense.
So please
Makes
understand that
sense.
this generation has that ability. And even parents, they need to
Mm,
realize that this ability is there. Parents need to realize they're not taking the money to their grave and going. Please invest it in
true.
your child if they have something that they want to pursue, and
Mm,
they will do it, right? But
yes.
having said that, you need to understand that in order to be a healer, to be a life coach, and I'm using the word age loosely because personally for me, age is a life space. It's not about being 20 years old. You could be a 24-year-old who's gone through so much in life that you have the
Absolutely.
maturity to hold space for somebody. Because as a
Mm,
life coach, as a healer, you are going to be there holding space for somebody to go through the pain, to peel those layers, and to transform.
so
It's
true.
not an easy thing. You have to have that ability to hold that space without getting rattled yourself, without absorbing that yourself. So it takes
Very
it
true.
takes a lot. So those who are wanting to be a life coach, those the same, like you want to be an entrepreneur at 24 and make your first billion by 27. It's
Mm,
great. I hope you make it. For some of you it may happen. However, are you ready to live that billion? Do you
mm,
have that heart, soul, that courage to not lose your path, not be blinded by the shine of it?
and to
So
keep
life
creating value.
happens at a particular time for us. Life has its timing for us because we are meant to receive certain tools, certain you're supposed to be equipped a certain way to live a certain life. I
Mm,
may have been the in case of emergency number, that problem solving friend since I was 13, but I found this path only at 33. I
right.
had to go
Right.
through a certain journey and live a certain life and have. be equipped with certain tools to be able to do this the way
Makes
I do it
sense.
today. At
Makes
24, I
sense.
couldn't
Very
do
well
that.
said. Yeah.
I'd have got frustrated with
Exactly.
half the questions I'm asked. I said, please, I'm heading out of here.
That's right. Makes sense. Makes sense. So, viewers, we are actually in conversation with Chetna Chakravarthy, who is a biotouch practitioner. She is a life coach, and she has something really exciting for us. It is called a life hack, which is one from her own kitty, and I'm quite excited about this. So we'll start sharing about it. So, all yours. Please let me know when do I need to start sharing. So I'll do the
Okay,
needful.
so give me a moment.
Over to you.
I will give you the cue for that first slide.
All
What
right.
we're going to do is called the wheel of life. Okay, now there are two things that you're going to understand when you do this exercise. You're going to understand, one, what is the center of your life. That's the first thing you're going to understand. And the second thing that you're going to understand is how many different aspects of your life there actually are to live. Most of us are either living a career or a relationship or a little bit of both. Or then some of us are living none of this and just running in five different directions. What this exercise does is it gives you a clear picture on paper of what your life looks like right now, what it needs to look like, what you need to make it look like, and to make sure that it is aligned and in balance. Okay, so I'm going to ask Abhishek if you can get the first slide on for us so
Yes.
that,
So viewers, I hope you have the paper and the pen with you because we're going to start with this super
right.
amazing exercise. So yes, the first slide goes up right now. There
So
you go.
you're gonna take a paper, and at the center of the page you're gonna draw a circle. Draw a coin-sized circle. Okay. Take a moment. Just do this. We're gonna switch on slide 2. So if we can have slide 2 so that you see what happens to this. You remember drawing the sun as a little child? I still draw the sun like this, by the way. The age has not changed my drawing skills. I still draw mountains like that, and the river and that small
Even
house and
I guess most
the
most
stick
of our viewers will
figures.
agree to us. Yeah,
Stick figures will do. Don't worry. So you draw
absolutely.
spokes. Now you're going to need at least 8 to 10 spokes. Okay. You're wondering what is this thing that is coming up, but that's okay. So draw a circle at the center and draw about 8 to 10 spokes. That little circle will start to look like the sun. Then you know you're on the right track. So we're going to switch on slide number 3. Okay, so slide number 3, what you start doing is on the other end of each spoke, you start drawing circles. So what starts to happen is you seem to be making your own flower, solar system, I don't know, pretty mandala with circles, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so you have a center circle and you have a whole bunch of other circles around it. You are going to need 8 to 10. Now, in the life coaching world, when you are trained to be a life coach, you don't really give the names to these circles. You ask the person sitting there to name their own circles. However, I've realized that everyone's circles are the same, at least in our world. So I just name them. It's easier. Please change the names if you want to, call them what you want to, but this is what our areas are. Also, if some areas don't make sense to you, drop it, don't put it, it's fine, right? Because there will be certain things that'll be different. So I'm going to switch on the next one, which is where the real work is going to happen. I'm going to take you through each circle. Okay, as you can see, the center circle is called me or your name. Okay, so that is you. Now I'll explain the importance of that in just a second, but first I want you to name your center circle as me. Then you go to each of these other circles. So you have a circle called work, and you have a circle called money. Now, for some people, work and money may be in the same circle, okay? Because if you're a salaried employee, the salary comes and that's where you live off, and there's no other major source of income. Fair enough. Drop the money circle, let it be there in work. Some have two different circles. Money management is a whole different scheme. There's a different agenda there, etc. So keep it separate. You decide which circles are separate and which come together depending on how important or what is the space they occupy in your life. Okay, I've called it love life. You may call it relationship. You may call it marriage. Please do not club your marriage with your family, which is your parents. Kindly treat the two separately because they're two separate areas that you need to be focusing on in two separate ways. Do not also put a family which says husband and kid. That is a separate family. Please keep you and the husband or you and the wife as one circle. It is important, right? And especially if you are from my generation, which is born in the 80s, 90s, and later, keep it separate. We women are very painful these days. We know what we want. We're not settling. So don't do that. Kindly keep it separate. Okay, so that's your love life. Then you have a circle which is family. Dude, add who you want in this family. It can be your parents, it can be extended family, it can be in-laws. You want to keep a separate circle for extended family, go ahead and do so if it is that close knit, etc. Okay, but don't go too micro, because then you'll overwhelm yourself, right? So you have family. You then have friends. Everyone needs to have friends. If you don't have friends and you don't have that circle, there is a problem. You need to start healing that space. Everyone needs friends. We are social beings. We are herd animals. We're not solo creatures. You can be an introvert and you still need two friends, one friend, half a friend needed. Okay. Then I've put social life as a separate circle because for some people, social life is just family and friends. And so it will fall into that. But then there are some extrovert people like me who will be doing something with a whole new set of people every day. So for me, social life is very different. It's not just family and friends. It's me going for wine tastings, or me going for a music concert, or me going for a workshop, because I'm constantly doing things. So for me, that social life is a larger circle. And for some of us, it will involve family, friends, colleagues, fitness friends, gym friends. There's so many different categories that we have. Okay, so social life for me is a separate bucket. You then have health. I club physical, mental, emotional in one circle. Don't split it up. Because when we split it up, what you do is you create a separation, which is how we have lived the last 80, 90 years. And now we are going back to the old way of being, which says that what happens in your mind and in your emotions affects your body. What happens in your body affects your mind and your emotions. So keep health together so that you can set physical, intellectual or mental, and emotional goals for your health. It is important. Okay. We then go to hobbies. If you don't have hobbies, my friend, please develop some. When you are 70 and your kids don't want to spend time with you, you're going to need it. Develop some hobbies. You need some hobbies because the brain is a muscle. The day you stop using it, it withers away. Okay, it starts to crumble, it starts to fade. If you notice 70-year-olds who go for a walk, who do the crossword, who have a series to watch, who read books, are happier. They're occupied. They're not driving their family nuts. So for the sake of you, your brain and your family, please develop hobbies. It's a good investment to make. And no, unlike what we Indians have been taught, that if it's not making money, it's a waste of time. That's the old generation. That was their conditioning. It's not ours. We have the money to invest in a hobby. Please invest in it. Okay, a little bit goes a long way. And today, actually, more than money, you need to invest time, because on the internet, there's so much available for free. Like just learn something, anything. Just paint, color, write, crossword, jigsaw, whatever suits your fancy. Cook, anything. Okay. We then have dreams and aspirations. Now, these can be that 4 BHK house you want to buy, that Jaguar you want to own, the island you want to buy, the author you want to become, the president or prime minister that you want to be. It can be any of your big dreams and aspirations. They can be materialistic, they can be spiritual, they can be emotional, they can be mental, whatever, but the big ones. Okay, like think long term, think 15 years from now, think 10 years from now, or think what is that one thing that you want to accomplish in this lifetime, that one thing that is non-negotiable. This though I will do no matter what, that one thing, right? So that's your dreams and aspirations circle. Now travel, I'm sorry, we are in 2020, that circle effectively should be just blotched out, but it exists because as a separate circle, because for a lot of us, travel has become a whole different aspect of our life by itself. It's no longer a hobby. It's no longer a by the way. It's a very conscious piece that we add into our annual plans. Okay, and it has certain desires. People want to see every country of the world. People want to, we have bucket lists and experiences that we want to have. Hence, travel for me is a separate piece. You can take it out. It may not be that important to you. It's fine. Okay, any circle that doesn't work for you, take it out. No problem. But don't go to micro. Don't make the mistake of going to
Mm.
micro. It's very overwhelming. You will spread yourself thin. You don't want to do that. Okay. So this is what the whole wheel of life looks like. This is what your life looks like. Okay. Abhishek, I want to ask you this before I go forward. How many of these circles do you touch every day in your life? Every day, huh? Think every day.
Okay.
And touch can be spending 2 minutes thinking about it or spending 3 hours doing something in it. How many of these circles do you touch consciously every day in your life? Consciously, unconsciously.
I'll be very honest, and I'm known for my blatant honesty. Except the travel bit, everything else I think about. And that also
Okay.
travel bit because right now, whatever the situation that we're going
Right.
through. But yeah, the travel does happen from my home till the necessities supermarket and back. So that is also happening, but not every day. Once in a few days. So
Right.
for me, yes, I'll be honest. I also believe in holistic living. I also believe that
Right.
each and every realm of a life are very, very supremely important. Otherwise, it's pointless to live a life with a lot of money, to live a life
Yeah.
with like a one-track mind. So you have to be so
Yeah.
aware about everything that is going on that you live a fully committed life, and that's so important
Absolutely.
for your to give it to your own self along with the people who are living with you, your parents, or if people are married and blah blah blah, or a joint family. It's so crucial not only for you but for the people who are around you to feel that
Yeah.
energy, that vibrancy that one feels whole. When you live a life
Right.
fully. So yes, that's
Right.
from me.
And it's great that you say that you touch every area of your life, because I feel that today we are two of us on this screen talking and saying that it is possible to live every aspect of this wheel every single day. It's
It is.
possible. It's not
Yes.
overwhelming. You're not going to lose out on something. What you don't realize is when you say that you have to touch every area, you're thinking 3 hours for every area. Not necessary.
3 minutes,
Your
even
family, yeah,
that's,
three
yeah,
minutes. Your family could be just a phone call on certain days because you live away from
exactly.
them, or it's your
Right,
lunch with them. Your friends these
right,
days is a phone call, so that's fine.
exactly.
Health can be a 10-minute workout or a 3-hour workout. That depends on you. It is possible to
Absolutely.
touch every area. Now here's the rule: out of these 10 circles that are there, touch at least 7 every day consciously.
Mm,
Consciously touch at least 7 every day, and you pick the 7.
mm,
You'll realize that there are 2 or 3 which are mandatory. That's just there, it's your routine, and you just have to squeeze in 2 or 3 more very consciously. Okay. Now coming to that center circle,
mm,
the reason why you are in the center is because everything stems from you and everything fulfills you. If
right.
you are the sun of your solar system, imagine this, okay? You're the sun. If I take the sun and put it where the earth is, which is love life, supposing, and I take
Mm,
love life and I put it in the center, what will happen to the solar system?
darkness, utter darkness.
There'll be utter darkness. The sun will be so close to other planets that it will burn everything.
It'll burn. Yeah, it's like
It'll
a
burn, and
support
there'll be
system falling.
explosion,
Yeah.
which is why life, your life goes for a toss, because you'll put your love life in the center, you'll put your career in the center. Suddenly one day, because your health has gone completely for a toss and you have diabetes and thyroid and I don't know what else, now you'll put health in the center. And every
Mm,
time you are feeling lost, just put yourself in the center. Everything stems from you because you are living all areas of these life, and everything
right.
fulfills you. The sun
So
must
true.
always
So
stay
true.
in the center. You don't bring in Mars in the
Mm,
center. You don't put in Pluto in the center of your solar system. It doesn't happen.
true.
Don't lose your
True.
place in your own life, right? And I'm going to give everybody one last piece that you do to complete this piece so that you have clarity. Because right now, all you're seeing is a map. This is what your life is. Okay, this is what your day is. Now, here's what you do after you finish listening to us, finish this conversation. Sit with yourself. If you want to make yourself a drink and sit with yourself, put on some music and write one thing, one thing in a single sentence that you want to achieve or experience in every single area of this wheel. Okay, now some of you
Mm,
may say, but I have nothing to achieve in my family. It's all good. Well, sustain it, make memories. Have you ever thought that we're living our life with our families in such a routine way? Make memories, make a plan. Oh, we can't have social life, it's 2020. Improvise. Figure out an online plan, improvise. How are you connecting with your
Mm.
friends? Yes, it's virtual right now, but it's not dead. So figure
Think
out
out
what
of the
you are doing.
box.
Yeah, that dream that you have parked behind. Next 6 months, can you do one tiny
Mm.
thing towards it? Even if it's just writing down a plan on paper. And do not forget the center circle. What do you want to
Mm.
do for yourself in the next 6 months? One thing you want to experience within, whether it is growth, whether it is evolution, whether it is changing a habit that's not working for you, whether it's building a habit that will work for you. Whatever you want in that center circle, put that in there. Remember that when you start working on that outer circle and you achieve every single thing that you have written down there, you in the center will transform into a different being. So, a nice question to ask for that center circle is, when I achieve every desire I've put down in this wheel of of life, who will I become? And don't say happy, don't say good, don't say content. They are lazy reflex words. There are many words in the dictionary. Open it up,
Yeah,
search for it. Happy is a
absolutely.
lazy reflex word. Do not use it. But
For
yeah,
me,
that's
I
pretty
guess
much.
it would be something on the lines of uh, I'm trying to use two words at the same time, so I'm trying to connect how would I say it? It would be an abundantly wholesome life
There you go.
for me. Yeah.
That there you go. I mean, for me, when I think about this circle and I say, if I achieve, when I achieve everything that I've written in this in the next 6 months, I will be the most excited person around. I will be an excited, full of life person. That is who I will become, because there will be so much for me to then share, right?
True.
That's what will
True.
happen. So you have to, when you look at your wheel, that's the excitement you want to feel. That's what
True.
you want to experience when you do this. And I promise you this, you write down one statement for each of these, something you want to achieve and experience in the next 6 months. Don't go beyond it. Do not write negative sentence of I don't want and not and if and but. A simple sentence, don't get caught in the how also. And you will
Mm.
suddenly, on a piece of paper, have a clear direction. Anyone who is feeling lost because of this pandemic, you will no longer feel lost.
So true.
It's a
So true.
simple tool, but it will completely, the amount you were rattling because the storm has been blowing, suddenly it'll be like the storm settled.
Mm.
That's what will happen for you.
But thank you so much, Chetna, for sharing this hack. It's really unbelievably. It's so concrete. It's
Yeah.
the something which you had mentioned earlier. Implementation, being pragmatic, being practical about taking action. So this is beautiful. I hope viewers you have really enjoyed this, and somewhere it has actually opened up your horizon, because this is it. This is how you channelize, how you move forward, how you have the heart and mind in congruence to what you want to achieve. And that brings me to the next question, which is, from the point of view of consciousness, what is the difference between biotouch, chakra healing, positive action coaching? Do they have the same results? So this is from the point of view of consciousness.
um they will have the same result, in the sense all three will make you evolve. So yes.
Beautiful.
Okay, in terms of the consciousness, biotouch will help your body evolve. You are no longer in pain. Your emotional space in your mind can open up to do 5,000 other things. You're no longer
Mm,
worrying about something happening in this physical vehicle. Okay, chakra healing
mm,
is, it's pure magic. It's pure
mm,
magic. It can shift your energies. I have seen chakra healing help somebody heal a phobia of animals, like petrified of animals, like crossing the road and
mm,
not getting out of the house and keeping curtains closed, to sitting in a cafe with a puppy next to her, a dog next to her, like a full grown street dog. So I've seen it do something like that to heal addiction. I've seen it.
Mm.
I've seen it help people battle addiction. I've seen it help people turn their marriages around. I've seen it help people turn their careers around.
Mm.
Realigning your energy is it's magic.
Something. It's
Realign your
something. Yeah.
energy, right?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
can shift a lot of stuff. And with
It
positive
it it,
action
it
coaching, it's evolution because you change your
yes.
mindset, you change the way you are living life, you change the way you are responding. You're in a bad marriage and you're constantly being
Mm.
yelled at. Your response changes. Your response changes. The other person wonders what the hell has happened, and eventually the person's reaction changes, and suddenly
Right.
what used to be an ugly fight over a few times starts to become a constructive conversation.
Mm.
So you evolve in all three. You will evolve,
Well, it's
and in
actually a
all
feeling of that you actually flying.
yeah,
You know.
it's
Yeah.
it's in chakra healing we often say this. We always start with grounding. Okay, you imagine you have roots and you become
The
like a
root
tree
chakra.
because you
Yeah.
right.
Yes.
And we often say this, that the deeper your roots, the higher you
The
rise,
stronger.
the
Yeah.
wider you spread, the tree is
True.
stronger.
True.
And if you are thinking that your roots are going to trap you, you'll be stuck in a place, you'll be
Mm.
stuck here. Well, here's the thing, you're a metaphorical tree, you're not a real tree. Your legs move,
Mm.
you can move to wherever you wish to go, right? But the
Right.
energy of
Right.
that tree and learning from it can change everything for you. All your negative
So
emotions can
true.
come into balance.
So true. Absolutely. Something that you mentioned about healing others. That's the next question that I would actually want to ask. Can you tell us an experience you have had with a very demanding patient who you had channeled more of your energy to, which actually had an immense effect on your own life? If you can remember
I'll
about a
um,
challenging patient.
I'll
I know
narrate.
it's not allowed to, but without taking
No,
names,
it's okay.
what?
It's not someone's name. That I don't need to take a name, but and also I've spoken about this particular client many times, so it's fine. This was one of
Okay.
my first client for BioTouch, actually.
Okay.
She was a friend's friend. She battled MS. She was 40 at that time. This was 7 years ago. She was
Mm,
40, turning 40 at
mm,
that time. She'd had MS since
mm,
she was 20. For those who
mm.
don't know, MS is a nerve disorder. You know how you see a wire and the wire's insulation starts to rip off and you have the
Yes.
copper pieces out. And
Yeah.
when those copper pieces touch, there's a short circuit. So that's
Right.
MS in layman terms. Okay, so your nerves are doing that, and your body is short circuiting. Now, the effects are from depression, anxiety, pain to paralysis. And people who
Oh
battle
my God.
MS, it's a gradually deteriorating illness, which means the body deteriorates
Mm-hmm.
gradually. Okay, so eventually, it is said most MS people may be in a wheelchair or whatever, right? You'll be in a really, like, it's a painful experience, and they don't have a cure
Right.
for it. They don't have a cure
That's
for it.
sad.
Now,
Okay.
when I met her, she had tried various healing techniques, and her fear with healing had become that every time she tries to do a healing technique, she ends up having
Mm,
a spasm or a paralytic attack. And
mm.
that's again not surprising, because when you go in for energy healing, Reiki, chakra healing, pranic healing, sound healing, anything, it is
Biotouch.
possible.
Mm,
It
mm.
is possible because eventually everything has to come out through your body. All Everything is manifested through your body. Think about it. When you're in pain, where do tears come from? When you're in joy, where do you laugh from? Right? It's all the body.
True. True.
So she was so scared of doing any kind of healing because of the kind of side effects and the pain that she would go through. And I remember going to her and saying, look, BioTouch does not have side effects. Okay, the only place that BioTouch has side effects is if it is fixing a bone problem, because the bone in resetting can be painful. But otherwise, BioTouch most of the times does not have a side effect. It's
Mm,
not going to cause you harm. Okay, the only other time that I've seen pain rise is when it has uncovered another problem. So I remember doing biotouch for a friend of mine whose shoulder was hurting, and I'd do biotouch and the pain would reduce, but the next day the pain would increase. And 3 days later, when he finally went to the doctor, he realized it was fractured. So
Ah.
so when you biotouch, the body also starts increasing your pain if you have to go and take a certain treatment. It's pushing you in that direction, right? So I said, give it
Right.
a try. Let's see what happens. If you don't feel good, we won't continue. Right. So we started doing these sessions. I would do this every day for about 30 minutes. She has twin boys who were 3 years old that time. So it used to be very cute because I had to come in and play with the boys before I had permission to, do biotouch with the mom. And then after I'd lock
Right.
the door, do the session, open the door, I had to play with them again because how dare I leave without that? So it
Sweet.
used to be this little afternoon session that would happen. And I did biotouch for her, um, I think almost 3 or 4 times a week in the first month, and
Mm.
gradually reducing it to the point of not doing it at all. So for about 2 or 3 months, we did biotouch. She was on heavy steroids for anxiety and depression, as well as the spasms that she was having. Her marriage was in shambles. She had twin boys, and she was struggling to be a mom. She had no career. I mean, life was not looking nice at all. She had terrible problems with her mom. She had terrible problems with her dad. Life was not looking good. And I remember we started doing biotouch, and um, she started feeling great. Her energy levels went up. Her sleep became better. She, stopped having the spasm frequency started to reduce.
Mm.
But our
Mm.
biggest
Mm.
magic was when she went to a doctor in 3 weeks, and the doctor said, "Whatever you're doing, keep doing it." And he took her off steroids. Steroids that were supposed to come out after about 5 or 6 weeks. They took her off it.
Wonderful.
And in another 3 weeks of biotouch, she was down to just 10 mg of her anxiety depression medicine, antidepressant, which is
Mm.
the lowest piece. And which is a piece that the doc said stay on it because it has an ingredient that helps you with your MS, so don't get off it. But it was the
Mm.
mildest
Mm.
piece, right?
Mm. Mm.
Now, what happened in these 6 weeks was, this is one physical aspect of it. The second aspect is that because she was not in so much pain, her language changed. So things at home and her communication with loved ones changed. She had the
Mm.
courage to then go to a hypnotherapist and work through her emotional problems. And every time she would
Mm.
feel she's coming up with a spasm, we would do biotouch to heal the physical effect of it. And she could continue her hypnotherapy to the point where
Mm.
she fixed her marriage. She sorted a lot of her relationships. She changed her tongue. Literally, her way of speaking was
Mm.
transformed. And she went
Mm.
on to study hypnotherapy, and today is a hypnotherapist herself.
Oh,
So
beautiful.
for her,
So,
she went from having nothing, life falling
mm.
apart, zero hope, anger and pain, to
Mm.
the other end where she has everything, including a thriving profession where there is constructiveness.
So
And it's
this must have
magic.
given you so much of joy, so much of happiness for
This
you
was
as a person
this
to be
was
able
my
to
very
transform.
first. It was Abhishek. I cannot tell you what I felt
Mm.
when I saw her. Every time when she told me that I didn't have pain tonight, I wanted to cry.
Wow.
It was
Wow.
so hard because you know what, we don't realize that as humans we have very high thresholds for pain, and we are lazy to take care of ourselves. We become comfortable in our pain, and
Mm.
in doing so we live in so much of pain, and I don't know why. That's the
Mm.
heartbreaking part of it. And when somebody tells you, I could sleep and I didn't wake up, and I haven't been paralyzed for 3 days. When someone tells you they haven't had a spasm which they've been having 2 or 3 times in a week, I can't tell you what that relief
It's
must be like.
it's music to your ears, actually.
Like what is I used to look at her and I used to say, I can't imagine 20 years.
Mm.
How did you live this pain 20 years?
Mm.
And for her to be able to have a cup of coffee with her husband and not fight, for
Yeah,
her to
that's an
both
achievement.
stay with both of them, for her to have be able to deal with her mom and the husband and the in-laws and everybody in a so much more matured way. That's what healing
Awesome.
can do for you. That's how much she um you know
Transformed.
transformed, evolved.
Mm.
So it's magic
Wow.
what a little bit of investment in yourself can do.
So important. The me from that hack, the life hack, the me is so important.
Absolutely, that
Everything else,
centerpiece.
everything else will be taken care of.
It's a
Yeah,
simple sentence, Abhishek. Everything, my life stems from me, and my life fulfills me.
true,
It's that
true.
circle.
And viewers, mind you, this is not from an egoistical point of view. It's not that, okay, me, myself, everything. It is more
No,
about when you're able to take care of yourself, you automatically want your environment to be conducive to live. So when that
absolutely,
happens, the outer is nothing but the reflection of your inner self. So imagine when
absolutely,
you're living a abundantly soulful, wholeful life, your environment is going to be conducive for your growth, and whoever is there in that environment is going to propel you towards further success, not only you but themselves as well. It's such simple science if you look at it.
it's a,
It's that
it,
simple.
everyone who's traveled in the aircraft and not listened to safety instructions, but yet listened to it subconsciously 40,000 times. You've heard it. Who do you put on the mask for first?
Yourself.
Before you put on anybody else's mask.
Yeah,
If you
first
are
take
not
yourself.
breathing right, if you are not healthy, if you are in pain, it's gonna affect everyone's life. If you don't want to do it for yourself, do it for the people you love, because you have that
Absolutely,
responsibility.
absolutely.
We think that, why should I take care of me? Nobody is going to take care of you.
Hmm.
Everyone has to take care
Hmm.
of themselves first. Someone else
True,
taking care of you is bonus. It's
true,
additional. It's an expression of love. It's not
true.
for you to sit there in your corner, put your hands up, and say, I can't do anything for myself. No,
Hmm. Hmm.
you have a responsibility even to your loved ones to take care of yourself,
So true, so
because you
true.
matter to people.
Yeah.
So take care of yourself. You matter to people.
First and foremost, before you matter to people, you matter to your own self. To get this
Absolutely.
straight in your head and your heart is the most important aspect. First, you matter to your own self, and hence you matter, and you definitely matter to others. So please remember to make that solid circle the center of life, your own self, minus the ego,
Absolutely.
minus arrogance, but from the heart.
From the heart.
You know,
From the heart, because you
yeah,
deserve it. You are worth it.
yes,
There is a journey you chose when you chose to come into this, in this world, in this form.
yes,
Um, Stay true to your path. Even if you don't know what your path is, just stay true to it. It'll come. It'll reveal
it'll
itself.
open up. Yeah, it'll open up.
It'll open up.
Yeah,
It'll open up.
you know, awesome, awesome, Chetna. That brings us to the last question for this session. I'm enjoying this. We can have many more sessions like this. The first has been fantastic. Thank you so much. So this question
Most welcome.
is, yes, it's actually relevant to what we all are facing, in the current times. In today's day and age, we live under so much stress, work, environment, especially what is going on right now, and so many things cropping up every single day. What kind of tips can you give our viewers which can help them lead a stress-free life despite the ongoing situations? I know you did share about the life hack,
Okay,
but any further tips?
I'm going to first put a fact out. Some amount of stress is important for life. Some amount
No,
of
that's true.
stress is
That's true.
mandatory, because scientifically, biologically, it has been proven that if we don't have some amount of stress, then the human brain starts to become complacent and lax, and your survival instincts start to dim. Remember, your
Look at the
body, your brain.
example.
Yeah,
I love the example of the caterpillar. With so much of stress, it breaks
right.
into from cocoon
A
into a
butterfly.
butterfly. Even if
Yeah,
you look at the biggest and the most high-flying bird, the eagle, there's so much of pressure in that egg. And then
yeah,
the mother pushes that eagle away from
yeah.
the nest so that it is ready to fall and fly. So that stress, you're so correct that you need to
The
have some
snake
stress in order to grow.
shedding skin is a painful process for the snake, and yet it does it. And yet it does it
Absolutely.
because that is life. So some amount of stress is important, otherwise your survival instincts are going to dim, and that is not a good thing. So first of all, stop rejecting stress completely, and stop building an unrealistic expectation of an easy life. Life was never meant to be
Mm,
easy or difficult. Life was meant to be
mm,
interesting. That's it. We
True.
label it as easy, difficult, too much, too less. It is
Mm.
interesting. Sit with that statement. Nothing is easy and nothing is difficult. Everything is
True.
interesting. Okay, and understand that. So some amount of stress is important. The second thing that I will say, and especially for these current times, please stick to the facts. Avoid having what if conversations. Avoid having when that will happen, then I'll do that conversations. Stick to the facts and stay in the present,
Mm.
because it's these hypothetical conversations that lead to the illusion of stress. There's no real thing happening. You are causing the anxiousness by indulging in these conversations. Yes, life will be slightly boring because you have nothing else to talk about and no big doomsday to discuss.
Mm.
Kindly invest in a hobby. That's where you put your energy instead of having the what if conversations and the when and then conversations. Okay,
True.
that's my second piece. So only stick to facts. That's your second piece. Third piece is, please, please build a faith practice. This is not about religion. Your faith practice could be
Mm.
you going for a walk. Your faith practice could be, I'm the God of my life. I invest in me. I'm only everything. Fine. Sit with it. Belief in yourself. Chalega. But have a faith practice. In rejecting the
Mm.
rituals that our parents dumped on us and said it has to happen, in rejecting the religious things that we no longer believe in, and in following pseudo spirituality, this thing of I am a spiritual person, we're ending up with no faith. We this much scares us. This much. It's the faith gives you the ability to be patient, to be persistent. It allows you, or it rather fills you with the strength that a coconut tree has in the worst storm. So if you
Yes.
see a coconut tree, it is really, really tall. Okay.
Mm.
It grows
Mm.
in arid sand, which means that the roots have to go really deep for water, nourishment,
Yes.
etc. Okay.
The roots which you spoke
For
about
fresh
earlier.
water.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So, secondly, the trunk is so beautiful that it will sway with the wind, it will not break.
Mm.
Right. The branches spread out, they give shade to certain birds, but they also absorb light and nourishment as is needed, and they let the cool breeze in. And the fruit, the coconut, is a life saving fruit. The water is equal to saline water. It can be injected in your blood like saline water. It's literally used in military and crisis and stranded situations. It's said that coconut water is that good, right?
Yes.
So the coconut tree withstands so many storms because it knows how to stay grounded. It knows how to sway with the wind. It knows how to take the signs of nature and times.
Mm.
If you have a good faith practice, you can be like the coconut tree, and you can go through so much in life without getting rattled, without feeling like you're losing everything, without developing anxiety, the syndrome, not the emotion, which is valid and everyone has it. You can stop taking sadness and sorrow and loss and turn it into depression. And yes, mental health is a separate topic, and there are chemical issues in the body because of which it may happen. But
Yes. Yes.
a large
True.
number of us are feeling it not because of the chemical issues, but because of intense, unprocessed emotions
So
and
true.
bad mindset
So true.
habits. That's also another part of it, right? So I'm coming from
Mm.
that perspective. And I'm saying this, that have a good, strong faith practice. You need to have that. It is very important today. Um,
Mm.
it's I remember telling a client that if you're feeling not feeling nice, why don't you just pray? And this was on chat. And about 5 minutes later, she messaged back saying, "Do you pray?" And I said, "Yeah." And she messaged back saying, "How do you pray? How does one pray?" And I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, when you were little, grandma didn't tell you to do like hath jodo somewhere. No, all Indian kids are taught that. How were you not taught this? Like, what happened? That's when I started thinking we've rejected so much of their way of being
Mm.
because it was too rigid and ritualistic. But in that, we lost faith.
Mm.
So you pray however you want to pray, but pray.
Right.
It's very important.
Mm. Uh,
And that's these are my three tips that I can give you.
so
Accept some
facts,
amount of stress. Don't try to
hobby, fact.
elevate it completely.
Right. Right.
Stick to the facts. And number three is build a faith practice. Very important.
Mm. So simple and so primary if you see for a human. So simple,
Absolutely.
and the life can be in a different trajectory altogether.
Absolutely.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Chetna. It has been a revelation of sorts in a lot of ways and relearning a lot of things. And I can say that I'm enlightened after speaking to you in lot many areas. Thank you so much. It's like, you know a few things, and then you need that kind of a reminder. Ki, oh, oops, see, need to get back to that. So yeah, it's I hope our viewers also have had this marvelous experience with
I hope
Chetna
so too.
being with us, I'm sure. And if you need to get in touch with her, we have her details on the ticker right down there. She's available on Instagram. You can direct message her. Her Instagram handle is
Sure.
positivity angel, or you can email her at chetna@circleofpositivity.com. That's right there under the both photographs and video actually. And Chetna, want to say something, few last words from your side to our
Um,
viewers and
I would say this, that invest in yourself. It is important to take time and make the effort for yourself. Show up for your dreams. And I will also say this, which is very pertinent to where we are today. Your goals and your dreams haven't been cancelled. The timelines have been realigned because something in your life needed to heal, something in your life needed to be realigned. That's all that's happening. So life isn't
right.
deleted, your goals aren't deleted, your dreams haven't been shattered. Everything's just been, the pace has been changed because that was
Mm,
needed. So trust, just faith.
mm.
Trust the universe, have some faith, and just keep moving forward. It's
Yeah,
all going to get better.
I'm going to remember this, and also something which you have said that each and every one of us has their certain time. So everything happens with
Yeah.
time. That does not mean that you do not put your efforts. That does not mean that, oh, right now my time is not come, so maybe I'm just going to chill and sit and do nothing. No, as Chetna said, invest in yourself. Keep growing. Invest in that center of that circle that we just did, the life hack. When you become stronger, when you become wholesome, your time will it'll come closer. If it's, for hypothetically speaking, if it is 1 month down the line, because you make yourself so apt that 1 month could be 10 days or maybe lesser, or it's just a hypothetical number, but that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So yes, it's
So
just been beautiful. Chetna,
I'll,
thank you
I'll
so
just
much.
like to say
Yes, you were
this
saying
because of
something.
what you said.
Yes, please.
There is an episode on my podcast which is called Positively Unlimited. It's available on all Spotify and SoundCloud and Apple and Google, wherever you listen to your podcast. However, um, it's called Divine Timing. The episode is called Divine Timing.
Hmm.
The podcast is Positively Unlimited. Listen to the episode that's called Divine Timing. You will understand what timing of your life is. And that one little perspective can change a lot for you.
Wonderful.
So,
Thank you
yeah.
for sharing this, Chetna. This, I guess, a lot of viewers would want to hear this. It's so important. Divine timing. It has a certain rhythm to it, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
So,
So,
yes, thank
thank
you
you
for
so
having me.
much.
I had a great time. Thank
Yes,
you so much.
thank you so much, Chetna, for being with us. And thank you, viewers, for again joining us for an amazing interview with our dignitary tonight, Chetna Chakravarthy, who is a life coach. She is a practitioner of healing practitioner of BioTouch, and also a life coach. And I have surely gained a lot of insight into a few details that we need to have. And I'm sure that all of you have had a great time. The information that you can get in touch with her are right down on the ticker. She's available on Instagram. You can direct message her. It's Positivity Angel on Instagram, and her email ID is chetna@circleofpositivity.com. So stay tuned for many more interesting interviews and episodes that will be coming right at you, and hope to again speak with you, Chetna, on some other relevant topic yet again.
Absolutely.
So please take good care of yourselves, take care of your family and friends.
Thank you.
All right, viewers, we'll see you soon. Take good care. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.